All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome. So this is the final lesson in chapter 2, our unit 2, and it's about selecting a certain savings account, all right, or select a savings account. Now, one thing you guys need to understand is there are a multitude of different savings accounts out there. There is a standard savings account, and then there are things called a CD and a money market account, okay? Those are relatively not new things, but relatively things that are unknown to a lot of individual people because it's not well advertised. Because there's sometimes a lot of nuances and people get scared and think, well, what is it? And then they never look at it. But probably a majority of our parents and guardians who watch us right now or care for us probably don't have CDs or a money market account. Now, we'll talk a little bit about those. But remember, this is kind of a scratching the surface type situation here, where as you get older and as you go out into the world, you're going to want to find out and do research on your own. Okay, so, and then identify important criteria to consider when selecting a savings account and make a systematic and informed decision by gathering, evaluating, and comparing information. It's very important that you guys do all of that. All right, if you already have a savings account, why did you choose it at the specific bank? And then if you don't have one, what factors do you think are most important in making a good decision? Most of you, if you have one, ladies and gentlemen, it was because it was the one that was there. I mean, let's be quite honest, that's what I got. If you don't have a savings account, what factors are you most important in making a decision? Well, it should be good interest rate, maybe the minimum amount of balance that you have to have, which a lot of people struggle with. Like some money market accounts require you have like up to a $5,000 balance as a minimum. And so a lot of people struggle getting up to that minimum and then going beyond, and then you got to leave it in there for a certain amount of time. All right, so what's the difference between a checking and a savings account? Okay, so CalPen talks a little bit about it. Once they get by this infomercial here, I'm going to mute it and then we'll skip the ad. Now, the one big thing with this is understanding, actually this isn't an ad, it's the actual finance explained. Okay, so I'm not going to watch it, but what you want to do is understand that there's a difference, right? You may be tempted to think you're all set once you have a checking account, but it's important to have a savings too. And then, after watch this, write in this blank at least 3 ways savings accounts differ from checking accounts, okay? So kind of read, watch the video, listen, and write some things down. All right, compare. Once again, this is part of that longer activity that we're going to be doing. We're not actually going to be doing this in class. It would be nice to, ladies and gentlemen, do this. We will talk a little bit about this. Now, the problem that we have is that this becomes like a giant research project with teamwork and teammates. It'd be great if we could, but unfortunately, we're not at this point. All right, Ally Bank. Would you like... All right, so this commercial, it's kind of funny. All right, what does this commercial imply about financial advice you can expect when you seek to open an account? So let me back this up a little bit here. It's a very short infomercial. It's 29 seconds long. Listen up.
Would you like a pony?
Yeah.
Would you like a pony?
Yeah.
Here you go. This is for you.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't say you could have a real one.
We didn't ask.
Even kids know it's wrong to hold out on somebody. Why don't banks? We're Ally, a new bank that alerts you when your money can be working harder and earning more.
Man, that's messed up. It's so funny, by the way. But what does this imply, okay? What does it imply about the financial advice? Well, you didn't ask, right? All right, so the little girl. Rewatch it if you want again and just understand the concept of why they advertise it like that. It's actually pretty funny when you think about it. But it's also at the same time, the girl was like, yeah, I'll take a pony. Pulls out one, the other one pulls out, it's a different style of pony. Now, he asked the same question, but you got 2 different results, okay? So as somebody, you would want to make sure you understand what that's actually like, okay? So Finances 101, tips on opening a savings account, okay? Features, insurance, fees, do you have any, okay? Read these articles, skim, okay? Skim through it, interest rates, okay? Now, here is an actual interesting fact. Some of these savings accounts, when you go to a bank, you'll want to realize that there's a different level of a savings account depending on how much you can save. But you also have to maintain a certain threshold, right? Like a standard savings account, I think, is $50. Okay, it might be $200 now. I'm not sure. But it depends on the bank, right? So what you want to do is go in there and find out what it's like, okay? Figure out exactly what you need, what if there are any fees, okay? And then see if there is a minimal amount of money that you need to have in there in order to create a certain interest rate, right? That does exist. So read the article, skim through it real quick, and answer. Compare, this is the same thing, we're not going to go through that. How to open a bank account and what you'll need. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is very important. I think we covered through this in the checking account. We may not have. You are going to need some basic information to get a savings account open. All right, you'll need your federal ID, government issued one, some basic information like your social security number. We've talked about. If you don't know that, it's time to learn it. And then a little bit of money. You go in and you should be fine, right? So create a list of what you need. How would you fund your first deposit? We're not doing the role-playing game because that's a simple thing, but understand the philosophies, okay? So there is some information in there. As much as I'd like to say, so for you guys that were saying, well, where's the money market thing? Here is the issue, is that I would love to show you guys and walk you through this little activity that is associated here. The problem is that we're not in class and it becomes difficult. What I would suggest for everybody in here, and we'll do this when we get into investing as well, because money market accounts is a savings account, but it's actually slightly investing as well, because you're investing into your future by throwing money into it and understanding that it will grow an interest rate at a certain point, or it'll grow at a certain interest rate. Now, it's not a very high one, okay? When I say it's not very high, it's less than 2%, which maybe closer to 1, which does not keep up with inflation. Money market accounts are a little different because they do deal with some of the aspects of investing. So we'll look in those later on in the year when we get into investing, okay? For you guys, what I want you to understand is if you're ever interested in what is a CD, okay? Certificate of deposit. What is a money market account? Find or go to your local bank that you have now, go online and look up that information. Okay, if you Google it or you go to Yahoo or Bing, whatever your favorite search engine is, and look those things up, what you'll start to understand is that there are many vehicles for you to, once you save a certain nest egg of money, is to throw it in there and to keep it secure and also have it grow at a certain rate. It's very important that you guys understand at this age, once you start making money and once you start saving it, you want that money that's being saved not just to sit there, but you want it to grow as well. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please come see me in class. We'll be taking the test on this soon. Work on any of the activities that we may have loaded up on Canvas. Good luck, and I'll see you guys soon.